Good morning. I'm an AI created from voice samples of every white guy to ever make a YouTube video about fighting games. Keith B here, and I want to talk to you about this character Shaheen today. I figure with AK's recent tournament success, he won Combo Breaker. Shout out to AK. This is as good a time as ever to make a video about Shaheen. And Shaheen is a pretty interesting guy. If you ask me, I think if you ask most people, he's kind of boring. Like most Tekken 7 players would say, well, Shaheen, that guy, he's got no sauce. Well, one of the cool things they did in this game is they gave Shaheen some unique characteristics and moveset properties. So let's get into kind of what is he about. He is a very straightforward Tekken character. I think that's where he gets his kind of vanilla reputation from. He's got the down forward 1, he's got the hop kick, he's got the safe down forward 2. The one thing he does have is he's got his slide that he borrowed from Law. And, you know, much like Law, he's just real straightforward. He's kind of, if you think of, like, the slide character archetype, right? Law is the one who's really good up close. Lee is the one who's, like, really good back here. Shaheen excels at, like, this range. Right here, where you, like, right where he can hop kick you if you do anything, is where Shaheen's really good. Because Shaheen is not, like, the best mid-range character. He's not the best range 0 character. But he has a really good tool set for kind of being at this range 1 to 1.5, where he's got this nice long range down for 1, -1 on block. He's got his Magic 4 series, which, you know, if he does commit to the extension, he can get combos out of this thing. So that's quite good. If he does the mid extension, he just gets the knockdown. But he can get a combo off of a 11 frame, well, 13 frame now, high, which is still in Tekken 8 a very unique property to have. He's also got a decent set of lows with his +1 down 4. He's got his down 3, which can take him into sneak stance, where he's got some options, nothing too crazy, and he's got some well-rounded punishment. And the thing about Shaheen, like his general, like when you fight a good Shaheen player, they're kind of at this range and they're playing mad safe. And they're just punishing everything you do. And then it feels like you can't do anything. That's Shaheen's, like, generally the people who play Shaheen have this play style. It's not the only way you can play him. You could play a rushdown Shaheen. You could play a, you know, defensive Shaheen. But this kind of, like, range 1 basic Tekken control game seems to be what most people who are attracted to this character seem to like to do. At least the ones who are, like, pretty good in tournament. Now, the new stuff that he has is his moves with these little chop animations give him this X-ray effect. And when you hit the X-ray, it actually will delete gray health. Like if I were to, I don't think I'm allowed to, I can't, if I activate heat here, build up some gray health, and then it's gonna, okay, I can't show it in training mode because he's gonna heal. But it deletes recoverable health, all of it. So if you do a big combo, and then you land one of these chops, it will completely eradicate that gray health. Which, early on, people were talking about Shaheen as a counterpick to June, when people were worried about June and her healing. So he's got some, like, an interesting kind of meta placement because of that. And, like, I just think it's kind of interesting. He can control the opponent's health bar a little bit. You can use, like, your control playstyle, and it can actually extend into the opponent's health bar, preventing them from being able to heal. And then, like, it's less advantageous for them to go for a heat engager to try to heal back. So then, you know, you're controlling them. It's kind of cool. The other thing that he has is a mechanic that is completely specific to him. He's the only character in the game who has it, which is if I do hold down for, I think it's about 2 seconds, just like in Street Fighter, he then gets an up 2, which is a charged up 2. Now, I don't have to be ducking. I can be sidewalking and do this, right? I could be, like, poking, like if I would do boom, 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 like I can be doing other things as long as I'm holding the down, I get the charge. So that's kind of neat. And then in heat, this becomes a really interesting guard break. Oh god, I screwed this up in the Tekken 8 intro characters guide. I'm gonna screw it up here too. And there you have it. So he can actually get his 14 frame Punisher that deletes gray health guaranteed after this charged high. So it's a guard break in heat. You can see it has that little glass break effect. So definitely a neat thing, because when am I holding down as a Shaheen player? When I'm down here threatening slide, so his slide mix-up becomes a little more deadly in heat, because then you have to deal with the guard break that's going to delete your gray health. In general, his slide is really strong. He gets sneak 2 guaranteed, I believe. At least it seems. If there's a way out of that, I sure don't know what it is. To make him a little more, I guess, in line with Tekken 8's systems, he does have a little bit more access to plus frames. Traditionally, Shaheen has not had really any plus frame moves, but he's got his back 3, a little plus 3 on block. He's got his wall running 2, which is much faster in this game than it was in Tekken 7. It gives him plus 5. And he's also got his back 1, which is a 0 on block heat engager, but it forces crouch, so that's kind of like being plus 1, because in full crouch, usually people are going to do while standing 4, which is 11 frames, and 10 frames is faster than 11 frames. Obviously they can still dick jab, but that's a lot more limiting than just being able to jab. So forcing crouch, good situation.
Before we get too deep into the weeds, don't forget to click that luxurious subscribe button. It's calling your name. It wants you.
Let's talk about the stance that he can go into. This stance called, I think, what is this stance called? I keep calling it sneak stance. Stealth step. The stealth step. I'm probably still just going to call it sneak stance. He goes in this little pose here. He's not crouching or anything. He comes into it off of, usually his down 3 is where you see a lot of this, but he has other ways into it. And what he can do from here is he's got kind of a budget slide option with his stealth 4, which is new, minus 14 low, and just have him stand block. That is plus 3 on hit. And then he also has access to safe mid, a high, which this high, if I have him not guard, gives him a guaranteed 12 frame Punisher. Can you get anything else better in this game? You could probably get a 14 frame Punisher now. Yeah, you can get his 14 frame heat engager guaranteed now. That's a cool thing. Yeah, this is like a little, he's got like a little jumping mid that launches, minus 12. There's not too much here, but it's a decent enough situation for Shaheen. So what do? One of the biggest things you have to know when you're playing against this character is, like, he's doing the down 3, right, into stealth stand. Well, he's plus 4. So this is going to be jabs. His 12 frame high is going to be jabs, but you could high crush that. The low is going to go under your jab. So that's something to look out for, but that's slow. So down 4-1 will beat the low, or just ducking, right? Ducking will also beat the jab. Or the 1, we're not going to call it jab. So jab doesn't seem like a strong option here, because these two options are both going to beat your jab. But then he's got the 2 at 15 frames fast. He's plus 4. So this will beat everything but jab. Any mid you do is not going to be fast enough. So all of this, if I just were to record Shaheen here to just do his thing, all three of these options are going to lose to Dick Jab. So, if he wants to beat the Dick Jab, he's got the little hopping launcher, right? Which should beat Dick Jab. We're going to test it, though. We're scientists here. Yeah, see, that's going to beat Dick Jab. So, basically, no matter what, of the 4 options, you can, if you can guess the 3 that he's most likely to do, you can either mash a jab, a mid, or a Dick Jab and beat 3 of the 4. I would... The other thing here is, like, you're only -4, so... Movement is an option, but you can see, like, the tracking is not bad on these things. So, we can step the high, we can step the launcher. The mid's going to clip you for going to that way. The kick's going to clip you for going left. The mid swipe is going to clip you for going right. But movement is an option here. So this stance overall, not super suffocating. It's just like a little bit of an extra layer on his offense. And what he's usually doing to you when he wants to use this thing is he's poking you, right? Shaheen is... I just want to set him to guard. He's got this really strong down forward 1, right? But what do you want to do when you're -1 against a character with a magic 4? You probably want to jab, because your jab will beat the down forward 1, it'll beat the magic 4. So his high crush option is going to be to do the down 3. And on counter hit, he doesn't get anything. It's not like Lee, right? Where Lee's down 3 gives him a combo. So what Shaheen can do is he can go into his stealth step and get a little pressure, but he's not really doing a whole lot out of this. Like, he's got some basic options. The main thing you want to look out for is this new low. It is pretty chunky at 17 damage. And at 20 frames, like, I think it's pretty tough to see that low. So, you know, what I tend to do is just like hold the stance and then try to make a read on the low if he's getting predictable. Let's also talk about slide really quickly. Slide is the thing that Shaheen, Law, and Lee have, where if they do tap down forward twice, they go into this little scoot, and from this little scoot, they can initiate the slide. What a lot of people do playing against these slide characters is like they're full screen, and they're like, oh my god, every time he ducks, I'm in a 50-50. You're not, because the mids that I can do out of full crouch won't hit you, right? So if he's ducking from this range, you literally only have to worry about slide, and I think that happens at a lot of, especially like low ranks. People on these slide characters will get away with murder just going for slides, but it's not a slide mix. It's just a slide from full screen. And so be careful, watch out for that. The basic mix is just going to be the low, or like a hop kick. They might throw the wall standing too. Yeah, I mostly would just do hop kick myself, but I know Shaheen players love to do this. They just boom, because it's such a satisfying launcher to land. Let's talk about punishment. Speaking of wall standing 2, a common mix-up tool, -17. Because he has the slide, his wall standing launcher is a little bit less safe than normal. So definitely take advantage of that. Another important move to know how to punish is the slide itself. If we just block this and do a wall standing launch, that doesn't let me get anything with my character Zafina here. I can't actually combo. So what you actually want to do is something that can tailspin, airborne. Because if you have a launcher that tailspin, that'll tornado airborne, then you can just go ahead and do that combo. Or the other option here, since Zafina can do both, is to float them with something like a wall standing 4. Now, you don't know yet what move to use on your character yet. You're gonna have to lab your character's specific slide punish, and I'll give you a little bonus content here, this punish will also work on Law's. Lee and Law's slide is identical for the most part in terms of how you punish it. Shaheen and Law's slide. Lee's slide is actually launch punishable. It doesn't put him in this weird airborne state. So, for whatever reason, they changed Lee's slide and they didn't change Shaheen or Law's slide. So that's like a PSA on slides. I don't know why they made slides more weird to punish. That seems counterintuitive, but hey. I mentioned this minus 12 launcher from Sneak. They're definitely going to throw that out a lot, so you're going to want to know that it's minus 12. Shaheen doesn't have a whole lot of strings, but he does have this wacky string where it is high, low, high. And low parrying the second hit is good. Even if you don't low parry the second hit, you can still duck and launch the third. Shaheen's hop kick is another move that it gets thrown out a lot. It is just minus 13 standard generic hop kick. Last move I want to talk about is this new 3-piece string Shaheen has access to. Which is, he's never really had like a normal 3-piece string before. This one's minus 13, as you might expect. But I do think Shaheen players are throwing it out a lot just because it's new. Because they've never had a 3-hit string mid before. They're like, hey, this is like a novelty. Standard stuff though, just block and punish. I can't believe I almost forgot this. Shaheen back 4 is a ground hitting counter hit launching mid, but it's minus 15 on block. So don't let Shaheen players get away with this one. He's definitely not supposed to have a safe counter hit launcher like that. Alright, I think that is going to do it for the How to Fight Against Shaheen guide. Hopefully you found this helpful if you've been running into a bunch of Shaheens in Ranked after AK's success at Combo Breaker. I will be doing a patch note video whenever they drop the patch notes, which I think is tomorrow. I don't know, I might go live on YouTube. I'm not sure, I might just make the video and then post it. But just stay tuned. As soon as I have patch notes, I'm going to start working on the video. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I'll see you next time.